It's been a long off-season away for the IORA Cup Series ever since May, when the Homestead Miami Speedway hosted the Season 3 Championship race. For the first time after our long summer break, we're back in action, and the high banks of the Daytona International Speedway make up the scene for the very first race of Season 4. This is the Breadstick Designs 250, and drivers are on the move in qualifying, getting ready for the main feature. 2 minutes left in qualifying before the racing gets on the way. Top man on the order, it's going to be the driver of the 93 Aiden Walker, out of Corey Lyles, Brandon Dugan, and James Thurston. Drivers already getting on the move as they get set to go for another exciting season here in IORA. Daytona going to be the opener of a 12-race campaign, and drivers getting it very exciting here in qualifying. Some flips, some barrel rolls, and some spins after the stripe, and now drivers settling in to the next-gen stock cars as they return for their third season in active use in the Cup Series. Two-time champion Daniel Mosteller is back in a racing order. The 87 is joined for the first time since the Season 2 conclusion and back on the track after a long absence. It's time to see what he's got in store, as well as the rest of the field. And as drivers continue to get their laps in, this will be the opener for the entirety of the points run. The playoff system not in use any longer. It is from the start to the finish. A new look, a new rule set, and a new bunch of drivers, but all the same, great racing. As it's been for the past 2 seasons running, I'll be your host for tonight's broadcast, David Kreutz. Great to be alongside you all as the drivers get settled in. Looks like over 20 have registered for tonight's race, and some drivers coming in at the last moment, getting ready to do battle under the lights at Daytona. Going to be an entirely nighttime race in this event. 100 laps to make up the 250-mile total, and as soon as this race is over, we're not done on FTN. We'll immediately be going to the Highline Racing League at Atlanta for a 117-lap feature in Hampton, Georgia. Keep an eye out for that too. It's sure to be another great race, but this one very special. A lot of work has been put in by the admin team to make this happen. All the forces coming together, and overall, this season going to be one to remember. Qualifying is over with Sean Conklin, the final man to get a lap in. He'll be pole position, and now it's time to get your starting grid on the move. Gridding's going to be in full swing now at Daytona, and before the drivers get on the way, how's about we get to know them for the very first time? A starting grid has been formed this season, so let's get to learn about our drivers. Without further ado, this is the first starting grid of the 4th season in competition. The International Online Racing Association returns to form, and at Daytona, the best place to start a season, they'll take it for the Breadstick Designs 250. Without further ado, let's take a look at your starting grid for tonight's event on FTN. And as it stands, the drivers already in motion. In just a moment's time, Sean Conklin, the fastest man of the running order, goes to the top of the board and is number 54. Right beside him, going to be Aiden Walker in position number 2. Then from there, third on the order is going to be River Page with Alexander Valdez in the 095. Right beside him, top 4 drivers going to be there in those first 2 rows. Then from there, we're going to see a third spot, of course, seen by Page. Third row, Kenny Rio puts his number 22 machine into the 5th spot, and it's going to be James Thurston putting that number 4 into 6th. Thurston's your defending champion in the IORA Cup Series, and he's coming back for a little more tonight. Looks like he's in the right place and looking to get it done at the right time for a win to kick off this campaign. Then from there, you're going to see Chase Schaefer and his number 99 machine going to be 7th on the running order, with Corey Lyles, defending Daytona winner, finding himself right there in 8th. Lyle is going to be the 8th man on the running order, and just behind him, it's going to be Brandon Dugan at 9th, and Vincent Guecci, position number 10. To round out your top 10, it's going to be Vincent Guecci with Connor Zabosian in 11th, brand new driver today, and Braxton Whitaker then in 12th of B-Man Design. 13th is going to be held by Henry Kaloff, and Michael Deitch will be in 14th, winning the number 57 machine. The Hendrick Cars Chevrolet comes back with a new look tonight, and right behind behind him, it'll be Will Shack's number 35, and Bryce Hamrick joining the session late, just in time to get through. He'll be starting in the 16th spot in the ever-iconic number 94 for CCH Motorsport. Then from there, Daniel Mosteller, two-time champion, back on the field. He'll be in 17th, and Jackson Carr will be in the 18th spot, and he'll be right in front of Sean Rowan, 19th, and Michael Cormetis, then in 20th. From there on out, to round out the grid, you're going to see Noah Belleville in the number 21 spot on the grid, with TJ Hanley, one of the fastest men in practice, fading to 22nd in qualifying. To round out the field, it's going to be Matt Metler in the number 11 machine, 23rd and last. To round out the grid here in Daytona, let's get into it for the first time this season. This is the Breadstick Designs 200, and that is your starting grid for the first race of the IORA Cup Series season, Season 4, in just one pace lap's time. Sean Conklin coming back from a hiatus of sorts on iRacing for most leagues, to say the least, and it looks like he's choosing a great place to come back. The Ryco Motorsport number 54 has taken some time off from league racing on FTN to build his skills up as a driver overall, and over 6,000 iRating. Now looking to make a charge toward Road to Pro next season. We might see him on FTN a bit more on Thursday nights, but for a different group of drivers. He's looking to be one of the best of the best. Aiden Walker, always known to put on a show. Last time IORA sanctioned event, he won it. It was Charlotte, and he won $75. The iRacing official pace car will drop into the inside line for the first time tonight. Pacing is over, and months of anticipation have come to this. Let's go racing in IORA. This is a wreck. Chaos already. They'll be all over the place, and it looks like the caution will have to fly immediately. Now we're in trouble, and the yellow flag flies before things get going. Yellow flag to start the season. We'll have to hold off from seeing a green flag lap. And now, looking further back, most drivers get it on the way. It looks like James Thurston's going to miss the start, anticipating this. Connor Zabosian's going to fade way back. And just like that, the caution is out before things really get going. That could have been, of course, a much better start for these drivers, but let's take a look at why that's not the case. Taking it back to the instant replay here, Connor Zabosian's already going to be backwards, and it looks like he's going to lose the most time of everyone. Taking it back 30 more seconds to get an aerial shot of the incident. You're going to see them all in formation. Balderas runs up to Walker there. Looks like it's going to be Chase Schaefer going back and forth, wiggling just a bit, but missing the start. It looks like it was contact from Schaefer, and no, Balderas and Aiden Walker. Then they get dicey. Then it's going to be Hamrick tagging Zabosian. Then getting a bit of a piece there. It looks like a few other drivers caught up. Aiden Walker, one of which. And just like that, we're under yellow immediately here. And the caution flies to start the season. Not the best way to go, but it can only go up from here. That's hopefully the mindset these drivers have as things get back going here at Daytona. It's going to be Connor Zabosian now in the 20th spot as the yellow flag flies, with Sean Conklin and Alexander Balderas now first and second. Looks like Balderas might have been the cause of that wreck, but it's going to be very close to call, as it looks like formation not going to work out up in front and immediately bring us back to a yellow flag to get things going once again. Now we're looking for our first restart of the race before we've gotten our first green flag lap. 2 laps in out of 100, and we're looking now to our first restart of the day. It is going to be Sean Conklin out in front, Alexander Balderas then second, and River Page in third, with a Braxton Whitaker fourth, and Chase Schaefer then in fifth. Big changes already in the running order. A lot of drivers going to have to head down a pit road. You'll see it to, of course, be an example. Sean Rowe coming in, of course, with Michael Cormetis, Daniel Mosteller. They're all going to come through at once. Matt Metler, Bryce Hamrick, Corey Lyles, and Michael Deitch. Looks like no retirees after this wreck. No major damage for anyone. And they'll all come down for service to get the night started. Now the number 11 machine of Matt Metler is going to be back on the way. And it looks like now for TJ Hanley Designs, the number 11 is already rolling, and 3 laps through, he'll get back on the move, following his team leader out And it looks like they both make it out very quickly from pit road as Sean Conklin already has the lead. Double file once again. Set to go back green next time by. Admins might choose to make it this time by to shorten the caution, get us back on the way. Now estimated to go back at lap number 4 of 100 if that's the case. If not, we'll be looking at lap 5 and give us 95 give or take laps of racing remaining. Already, we've gotten through our first 100 laps on the table here tonight at Daytona. It's going to be, of course, Sean Conklin there leading. He'll take it down to the bus stop here, now known officially as the Le Mans Chicane, but of course, well known as a bus stop here in endurance racing, the 24 Hours of Daytona, one of the most iconic races this track holds, of course, alongside the ever-famous Daytona 500. As we have a bit of time here before the racing gets back on the move, why don't we take a look at our official track information for tonight's event. Daytona International Speedway, the 2.5-mile circuit in Daytona Beach, Florida, opened permanently in 1959 after decades of racing on the sands of Daytona Beach, and it's one of NASCAR's longest ovals, only shorter than Talladega and dead even with a Pocono Raceway, which we saw on FTN last night with many of the same drivers. Hosting iconic series such as the AMA, the American Motocross Association, NASCAR, ARCA, IMSA, and even Indycar at one point. High banking over 30 degrees of which throughout the corners, and I believe 18 in specific going down the front straightaway. This is a fast track on the throttle almost all the time, and now they'll be getting ready to go for the first restart of the season. As it stands, Balderas and Sean Conklin are still your first row, and they'll lead us back to green as we get things going lap 5 of 100. Aiden Walker, Corey Lyles, Bryce Hamrick, the biggest losers on that incident. It looks like they're now back on the move. It looks like they'll be 21st, 22nd, 23rd as they lose a lot of track position based on that incident. James Thurston, who opted, of course, to go on a pit road for the start of the race, already moves up into 19th from dead last. So a bit of gaining there already despite making that move to get out of the pack early, and it's going to pay off for him. Sean Conklin leads the way. Alexander Balderas second, Braxton Whitaker third, and River Page in fourth. The veterans dominating so far. The first of the rookies is TJ Hanley, then Matt Mettler in 10th, Noah Belleville in 11th, and it will be from there Connor Zabosian in 18th. That's a watch on your rookie drivers as we come back to the green flag this time by. The veterans of IORA find themselves up ahead. Sean Conklin one more time going to take it through the bus stop and meet the drivers once again just behind him. 4 laps in of 100. This season is building up to this moment. Looks like a bit more delay despite the fact we're on track, but now it's time to get a move on, get the racing in. This is the moment of truth. It's Daytona. It's the next gens, it's here, and it is now. The future of the IORA Cup Series comes down to tonight, and we're looking forward to finding out who's got what it takes to lead us into a new era here in our 4th season of Cup Series competition. The iRacing official pace car will lead him down to the inside line, and it looks like it's going to be the pace car down and in, and it will be Sean Conklin off and away. First restart of the season coming here, and now the green flag gonna fly. Restart number 1's going to be in effect. Welcome to IORA. Let's get some green flag laps in. Green's out again. Leaders are on the move. Welcome back to Daytona. And at the stripe, it's going to be Sean Conklin leading the way. And now drivers getting into a bit more of a double file formation. So hopefully the aggressive driving is going to be avoided for the most part here. Now we see the consequences of a wreck, and the admins are enforcing it much more strictly this season. If you make up 4 penalty points in this race or more, you are automatically disqualified. The most penalty points you can have in a season is a total of 12, so you cannot risk it. Whitaker down to the bottom side. He's going to take Sean Rowe there with them. And As the field comes by and blares by our cameras, Balderas has the lead. Not too far behind, it's going to be Chase Schaefer as they make it through all over again. 6 laps in out of 100 this time by. It's going to be now the number 95 leading the way. He's going to have Chase Schaefer on his back bumper, and now it looks like it's going to be dominance up in front. All manufacturers involved, but it's going to be a Chevy there right in front of 2 Fords with Henry Kaloff on the high side trying some things as well. Trouble in the back of the field. They got a bit antsy, but nothing will come of it, so we'll keep it up in here and try to take a look at it if they got it back going. Looks like the field is now back on the move. It's going to be Noah Belleville losing a lot of time on the apron, but all the same, we'll keep it green, and the leading pack is beginning to break away more and more. The high side not coming into play just yet. You'll see River Page is trying it. Hasn't gotten anything out of it so far, but he's got some familiar faces right there with him. Daniel Mosteller, always a plate racer in contention, and almost a shoo-in to get a victory at a track like Daytona or Talladega. Just wait till those final laps, and Mosteller is always there. One of the best plate drivers on iRacing at the moment. He's been up there with the best of the drivers in the Coke Series, all of professional esport on iRacing, and he's been able to beat them a time or two, so I wouldn't doubt him at all. This is Daytona. Anyone has a chance, but it takes a driver above the average to make it happen consistently. It's luck in part, but it also comes down to a lot of driver skill. If you don't have that, it'll come back to bite you when it matters most. Now, 8 laps in, and for all these drivers, it looks like the number 93 going to find himself exactly where he needs to be on the high side, getting pushed by River Page. So the high side's going to have a bit of a surge, and at the line, Balderas will lead him, and not too far behind is going to be Aiden Walker. Chase Schaefer still going to be on the back bumper here, and these drivers, well, they know it, and they saw it. You don't want to be too risky early in the going. If you can log laps, do just that. It is not worth it to wreck your equipment so early, give away an opportunity at a victory or a podium. There's a lot on the line here, especially with it being the season opener and all, so you cannot give it away so early. It might seem enticing to go for that lead when it's right in front of you, but the big picture is what these drivers need to focus on if they want to make anything of this race, and hopefully right now they're taking it to heart. 46 seconds laps. These guys are flying through the track, and with this pack being oh so close to each other, it's going to be close driving, high speeds, and it might get to some of these guys. It's going to be very challenging to keep that up consistently, lap after lap. The nerves of a brand new season getting to some of these drivers, others not so much. A lot of guys are veterans here, but a few drivers are making their case for the very first time. So you do not want to lose or ruin that opportunity, especially in the very first race. There's a chance of a disqualification if you get a bit too messy, and we already saw some drivers getting very, very close to maybe getting some penalty points. Racing incident, yes, but that's the first lap of the season. You can't have that happen. Now that we're back on the way under green, hopefully it's going to be a different scenario. The pack is much smaller. They're double file right now, so really no reason to get too antsy. If you have this opportunity to be up here, don't throw it away. And hopefully using lessons learned from that first wreck, Balderas has been leading very strong so far. And for Alexander Balderas, still chasing a big victory, whether it's in league racing or otherwise. Consistent competitor in the IORA Cup Series since the very beginning. He's been an on-off broadcaster for this league as well, so he knows both sides of the coin. Just hasn't found his way to victory lane yet, despite all the experience he's had. Not to say, of course, he isn't trying. It's always about making it to the end of the race, executing all throughout. And that is very difficult. Even if you're one of the drivers who can make it happen and lead laps early, if you can't be there till the end, it's almost going to be null and void by the time you get to the end of it. So really right now for Balderas, while he's logging laps and leading them, he's got to think about the big picture in that sense. If you cannot execute when the time is right, pit strategy might come into play. You're going to see drivers moving up and down all throughout. You got to understand what's next if you want to point yourself in the direction of victory lane. It's not a one-stop process here at Daytona. You've got to be thinking all throughout. Looks like some drivers going to go 3 wide with River Page taking it 3. He's going to have the driver of that number 83 Jackson Carr there with them. Let's take a close look at that. Jackson Carr going to stay 3. Bryce Hamrick right there. Looks like Hamrick gets the edge as some drivers are now going laps down here. Not good at all. Now we're already seeing some trouble for drivers such as Corey Lyles, TJ Hanley, Noah Belleville. They'll be fading. James Thurston continues to lead the way. He finds himself up in front now, and he's going to have Aiden Walker right on his back bumper. And all of a sudden, it's going to be Daniel Mosteller going down to the bottom side. Mosteller is going to take it way low, has that chance to go deep for it, and he's going to be able to take it. Now Daniel Mosteller leads the way, and he's going to have Alexander Balderas right on his back bumper. New group up in front. The 87 now going to be leading in the iconic number 87213 Simware machine. The bright red is back, and this time on the next gen. Last time it was Mosteller winning a championship. It was in the Gen 6s at Homestead for the Season 2 finale, and now coming back in a different form, he's looking to go for his third straight active championship. Decided to sit out of Season 3 as a precautionary measure to make sure there was on-track, of course, off-track admins, so taking up an administrative role after 2 championships in a row. And now Mosteller, arguably the most successful driver in IORA's history, has a chance to get back on the track once again. He's already looking for victory to set himself up for another championship run. He's been one of IORA's best since the very beginning, and now he's back in action with one of the most intense environments the league has ever fostered. Competition, high levels, great drivers, and right now it's all quality over quantity. Logging laps, getting through time after time means an awful lot, especially early in the going. Getting through the rough patch, these first 50-odd laps, it's essential to making a good race and making an even better night. So for Mosteller and Balderas, Schaefer too, getting this all out of the way is fantastic. And right now, the aggression up in front, it is controlled, it is moderate, and for the most part, they're single file. You can see Jackson Carr going to be in the back there. He's going to be with Sean Conklin. Your pole sitter fading back a bit further. Sean's going to fade, get himself in the back, make sure he's in the draft, but not opt to go chasing the race lead. Good on him right now to be a bit more patient, understanding the situation, and that's going to give Jackson Carr a chance to be right there with Brandon Dugan. A few drivers we don't see all too often up in front, like Will Shack. Jackson Carr doesn't run all too often, but when he is, usually at a super speedway, he'll be up in front. And there's drivers, of course, like Will Shack and Brandon Dugan. We have mentioned them before. Underdogs still looking for their first chance in victory lane. And right now, it is still all the veterans who are making up that top 10 picture. Of the top 10 drivers, all 10 of them have experience with IORA at one point or another. Bryce Hamrick is a rookie tonight, and this is his very first IORA start, but he's raced around these guys as recent as last night, so no reason to assume he's in a different environment, likes of which that other drivers like Connor Zabosian, who's in 13th, would say. It's a 12-car lead pack. 11 seconds back, there's Connor Zabosian and Sean Rowe and the rest of them. So right now, 2 big packs. One is going to be made of the dozen leading drivers. Then from there, looking back, it's Sean Rowe, Zabosian, and the rest of them going single file, trying to make time. But when you're 11 seconds behind, all you can do is hope. Really, that's a far distance, very far, almost too far to make it back. And while these drivers are several tenths of a second slower, there's always a chance in the form of a yellow flag, always a chance in the form of pit strategy. If there's an incident with this first pack coming down and in, it could definitely shape up the complexion of this race, allow for some drivers to maybe go through and pass the leaders and make themselves head home up in front. So it's not all said and done just because you're in that second pack so early. Don't think about it that way if you're a driver in that situation. Gotta think about what is next, and right now the future is the big selling point of this race. The mentality of these drivers, it will show that right now they're looking for just that. And now the 87 Mosteller gets a chance to lead with a big advantage here. He's got Balderas pushing, and he has not let this 87 go all throughout. Chase Schaefer's going to go a bit up to the high side, and they're going to both leave Balderas stranding. Now Schaefer going to give a shove to Mosteller, go right down low. Chase Schaefer looks for the lead, and now it's going to be Schaefer up in front, taking the number 99 to the top spot for the first time this season. Schaefer first. Now he's got Alexander Balderas behind, and Daniel Mosteller has to work that high side line for the very first time. TJ Hanley's in a bit of trouble as it stands 21 laps in. It looks like Hanley might get caught up, and as a result, the 08 machine going to be the first lap machine down on pace tonight. Noah Belleville and Corey Lyles are both going to be lappers, and as they come by, no issue. Leader's going to make the move by Hanley, and just like that, they'll be around their first lapper in green flag play. So very good job there from all drivers to make it by. TJ Hanley, of course, a rookie as well, so he does not know a lot about these drivers, but does the right thing, stays high, and that's that. And just like that, it's going to be bumping and shoving up in front a little bit more from Balderas and Mosteller that time, which gives Chase Schaefer an even bigger lead. Jackson Carr now finds himself inside of that top three. Aiden Walker's there. They're going a bit back and forth. Will they split Schaefer? No, he'll drop down to the bottom side. And it looks like he's going to choose to stay down low as opposed to getting a bit risky. Mosteller stays back and forth in the third place battle. For now, it looks like it's going to be Walker who has it, but Mosteller's trying to take it. And with these drivers getting a bit closer, bumper to bumper now, it's going to be that much more intense. Take a look on board with Alexander Balderas here as we watch his lap from the roll bar camera. And taking a look at Alexander Balderas, his fastest lap in this race, a 46.019, one of the quicker laps inside the majority of the pack here, and we're going to see how much pace he has coming across the start-finish line. Once again, his Chevy Camaro representing Adobe Creative Cloud tonight, and it looks like as they come down to the line, it's going to be another hot lap, 47.316 for Balderas, who's going back and forth inside the top 10, but trying to bounce himself back into the top 5. Now we're taking another look at the lap in play. He's, of course, on the bottom side. No trouble there. And his Thrustmaster T150 giving him all he needs to stay with the leading drivers. A bit of a buffer to Mosteller. What will Balderas do with it? We will see. He is clear if he wants the outside, but he will not take it. And as a result, he takes it late. No help there. River Page is going to choose to go high. He does almost regret it. And now he's going to have to fully commit to it. Balderas going to stay up top, keep it straight, and Page now going to see some trouble with Cormetis and Aiden Walker. They keep it straight, not much is going to come of it, no caution will fly, but still, some more aggressive driving going to count 2 drivers out. Michael Cormetis and Aiden Walker now going to fade a bit further away, and Cormetis finds himself in 10th as the lead pack continues to spread. And that could have been much worse for both drivers there, so luckily the caution's now going to fly for their sake, and it looks like the yellow flag will be out for Michael Cormetis and Aiden Walker as their incident brings out the yellow flag once again. So it's going to be yellow flag for the second time tonight. Let's take an instant replay, find out what happened here. Looks like Bryce Hamrick also got loose. Not far enough though, so we'll take it 30 more seconds back and take a more in-depth look at why this wreck occurred. It's going to be River Page, Michael Cormetis right there, getting a bit too risky early in the going. This will give the second pack a chance to get back up in front too, so keep your eyes out for those who are not up in front right now. It might change the listing. Mosteller gets wicked loose. Very nice save for him, but then Thurston and Aiden Walker, Michael Cormetis too, and even Bryce Hamrick getting in a bit of trouble there, so door banging all around, nothing major, but the caution is still going to be thrown as a result. Multiple small incidents lead up to something big, and as a result, the decision is made to keep the yellow flag out on the track. 23 laps in, decision is made indeed, and we're a quarter of the way through here from Daytona. Looking good so far. Out in front, it's Daniel Mosteller and his number 87. Now the question is, does pit road become active this time by? And if it does, what are we going to see? Mosteller, of course, very good with strategy at pit road in a super speedway context, but he's got a lot of drivers who aren't even with him, especially in regard to their finesse on pit road. The first pack, they're in a bit of a more calm state for the most part, of course not having to chase down the leaders. They were the leaders, not much to worry about in that front, and that's going to give him a different perspective going in, and it looks like, according to Daniel Mosteller's movement, he will choose to stay out on nowhere. He'll go down to pit road. He's going to keep it down low. Pit road is active from Daytona. Now let's find out what happens in our first pit road race of the season. And pit road getting busy with drivers making their way through. Race leader now getting scored as Henry Caloff. He is not on pit road at all. So with that in mind, he'll give us a perfect view of the pit road exit camera as he makes it by the start-finish line once again. Let's take a look who makes it out first here from pit road and find out who's got what it takes. Looking to be a flyby for Alexander Balderas. Balderas leads from Chase Schaefer. Then going to be Brandon Dugan, Jackson Carr, Braxton Whitaker. From there, going to be a rookie in the, of course, name of Kenny Reel, James Thurston, Chase Schaefer, Brandon Dugan. They're all going up and down. Connor Zabosian and Will Shack is now scored in 8th as River Page gets back on the way right behind Sean Conklin. It's so many drivers on pit road. Our overlay is not showing you all of them. It's very busy on pit road right now, so tough to say what's going on in specific. One thing's for sure, Alexander Balderas is the leading man off of pit road, getting all that he needs as it looks like 24 laps in, we're set to go back green at 26. A flyby of our first quarter of the race so far on FTN. Henry Caloff leads from Alexander Balderas, and Chase Schaefer's then in third. I'll tell you this much, we have 2 races prepared for tonight. I'll be on the call for both of them. Immediately after we end this broadcast, we are switching gears and heading over to the Atlanta for the Highline Racing League. And if you're not all too aware what the Highline Racing League brings out in terms of their racing product, take a look at this trailer we're going to bring to you right now. And if you're interested, follow us as soon as we're done. We already have it automatically redirecting viewers to the next stream, but in case you're not fully convinced, here's a reason to be so. We'll take it now to our official Highline Racing League Season 16 trailer, 24 laps in out of 100. Top 5 goes as follows. Daniel Mosteller is, according to timing and scoring, the leader. I don't believe that is the case. It is going to be overall officially Henry Caloff, then going to be Alexander Balderas, Chase Schaefer, Brandon Dugan, and Jackson Carr. 1 lap to green this time by, so it looks like we're not going to have time for that trailer just yet. In the case of a yellow flag, we'll try to bring it to you, but I don't believe these drivers are going to give us much cause for that within the next 15 or 20. Got a good feeling about how this is going to go, and we're ready to get back in the groove as the drivers will head back to the green flag, this time by Caloff and Balderas. Henry Caloff, oh so close to his first ever FORL Cup Series win last night, and the winner of an exhibition event testing before this Daytona season opener. He's got reason to be confident. He's getting better and better week after week on the sim, and once again finds himself on the track with a CB fabricating number 63. He's out in front over some veterans in the field, some rookies alike, a lot of drivers here looking to prove what they have in store for the rest of them. It's a lot of great drivers with experience all the same, and they're now looking to take it to the start-finish line for lap 26 to open up our second restart of the night. We got a good long run in before some minor contact repeatedly brings out the caution, and now we're getting set to do it all over again. The leaders, Caloff, Balderas, Chase Schaefer, Jackson Carr. Now your Fast Four look to lead him back to the green flag as the iRacing official pace car will bring him in this time through, and we're set to get back to it just like that. Quarter of the way in, we got still a ways to go, but the drivers finding their way here in Daytona, and it's going to be a wild ride from this point onward. Pace car is going to be coming down and in this time by. All drivers are still racing, only one man off the lead lap, and they're looking to show us what it's like out in front yet again. Caloff and Balderas lead us through, this time by as the iRacing official pace cars down and in. Let's get restart 2 on the move as Henry Caloff takes us to the green flag. We're back on the way from Daytona, and it's the green flag after the Geico restart zone for the second restart of the night. And nice and smooth down the back straightaway. All is well up in front. Double file repeatedly as the drivers will make it through the back straightaway. Kaloff and Balderas going to stay in close contention, and they're going to keep it double file as they come through time after time. Every lap already giving us some great racing to mention, but right now it's all about calculating up in front. Double file, so not a lot of moves that can be made. A few drivers like James Thurston peak up high, but so far not much they can do with it. Balderas goes down low yet again, and it looks like he's going to keep that lead over Kaloff, while Jackson Carr now shoots to the high side, and Jackson's going to give him all a run for his money as the 83 goes up to the top and will take Sean Conklin right there with him. In addition, Sean Rowe is there too, so a multitude of drivers will make it into the play, and Alexander Balderas on the inside line might not have enough speed. Conklin goes down low, Jackson Carr opts to stay up top and will not go down as well. It's going to be now Sean Conklin leading from Balderas as the inside line regains its momentum and goes at it once again. It's a game of trading places. Sean Conklin almost goes under the double yellow line, and luckily going to be able to save it with some very acute pushing from Balderas. Some drivers getting antsy early in the racing, and of course that's the way it goes at Daytona. First race of the season, a lot to be expected from every driver, so it's a bit hard to keep up with all the expectations, especially if you're shaking the rust off of it, getting back into it. If you do not have yourselves in the right mentality as a sim racer, Daytona can be challenging. It might seem like an easy track of going full throttle, but when you're around so many drivers as fast as you, by nature of the track, that's when it becomes that much more difficult to keep an eye on. And right now for Jackson Carr, he's going to be able to break out to a nice and smooth lead as they beat and bang just a bit. Jackson Carr is sent under. He'll come right back up, but they're going to be beating and banging. Now it's going to be James Thurston taking it to the point, and Jackson Carr going to fade back a bit further. Huge move up for James Thurston, and now he finds himself up at the top of the board. River Page going to be in second. That's a huge move for the number 24 as he has Balderas' support, and Daniel Mosteller now has to work with the only other champion in league history. Champions down low, drivers still looking for a taste up in front, up high. Shaq, Balderas, both working together. Jackson Carr there too. It's going to be some of the most experienced, winningest drivers of the league who are on the low lane, as opposed to some drivers still looking for that chance to prove they're worthy up high. And right now, that high side is working much better. Connor Zabosian, one of the rookies, now is going to be there inside of the top 5, fifth as a matter of fact, and he's got a lot of great company right there. High side proves to be dominant on this run so far, 30 laps in, and the Miata Gang Designs number 24 is out in front, and it looks like now he's in a comfortable position. No adversary up in front. Balderas sticking with them here, and Shaq, of course, right there as well. No competition from Sean Conklin until Jackson Carr goes down to the bottom. And with Jackson Carr making that move down low, now there's a chance for the low line to come right back into play. Number 24 drops down to the bottom. He'll once again cover. Now Balderas has to work it up high on his own, losing the driver he was working with those so well. And now River Page going to have to work off his own interest and take it to the green flag once again. 31 laps in, it's Page out in front. And now Jackson Carr right there in second. Third going to be the number 54 of Sean Conklin. Fourth going to be James Thurston. Daniel Mosteller going to be fifth with Brandon Dugan. Then in sixth, Alexander Balderas is going to hold his own in seventh now, so the top 10 going to get shaken up just a bit more, and it's going to be high side drive, and River Page takes it up. And now, as they come across the back straightaway yet again, the inside line still having a bit more trouble. River Page trying to manage both lines as well as he can, and he's done a good job of doing so far. Much better than what we expected. Of course, with these drivers being so quick, the runs that are generated, they are massive. And James Thurston, he's going to now try to take advantage of all the momentum, take it down to the bottom. He'll bring Balderas too, and the ever-moving chess match of sports it is always seen in NASCAR in one way, SuperSpeedway Racing. You've got to be on your toes, got to be calculating, got to be making decisions quickly, and this is the perfect example. When you're moving at over 190 miles an hour on the track consistently, touching 200, it's tough, very tough. And with these engines roaring, all of that in your mind, the drivers coming at you during the radio communications, there's so much to keep an eye on that sometimes it overwhelms you and you make a mistake. You cannot afford to slip up in front. There's no faster pair in the IORA Cup Series for the Season 4 events. Whether it is points paying or not, nothing will have a faster pair. It's only going to be an opportunity to get back with damage repaired from pit road, and that's the way it is. Nothing else is going to apply as the caution is out once again. Looks like no official reasoning at the moment. Looking back, now the back of the field looks to be scrambled and some trouble specifically for Chase Schaefer. Let's find out what happened as the number 99 is going to fade back far. Balderas is there too. Instant replay going to come this time by to find out just what happened. And taking a look at Alexander Balderas, the number 95 machine was fading back a bit further, not where he wanted to be, and it looks like he's just going to get moved out of line, and that's going to be what ends his chances up in front, at least for the time being. He's there with Jackson Carr, and you got to push square. No, Chase Schaefer's just going to come down low, not knowing where Balderas is at all, and Braxton Whitaker makes some minor contact, and Balderas comes up the track, then goes back down, and Chase Schaefer did not know at all where Balderas was, and that's what causes the wreck. Some spatial awareness not present, unfortunately, for Schaefer there. And it looks like he's lucky it wasn't a much bigger incident. Those drivers were inside the top 10, and Balderas is not going to be happy about that one. Maybe his chances at winning this race are already in jeopardy. Engine damage might be there for the number 95. Let's take a look right now. The front end is banged up. That might be several revs a minute being lost, and that's power that can't be put down on the racetrack. So very bad news for Balderas. All of a sudden, Chase Schaefer going to be maybe the driver to blame as he finds himself involved in that incident. It's River Page out in front, River leading from Daniel Mosteller, Will Shack, and James Thurston. And looking again at Balderas as we get back to your live feed. The field getting organized and 34 laps in of 100. Let's see if there's going to be a race down a pit road. Drivers come by the choose cone. It's going to be used in a few laps time. It's going to be the commitment cone that they have to worry about, and the drivers will indeed opt to come down a pit road once again. River Page going to lead the entirety of the field once more. So Page comes in, so does Mosteller, Will Shack, James Thurston, and right there as well, Connor Zabosian and Corey Lyles. Michael Cormet is going to be 7th with Sean Conklin 8th, and once again, pit road is active at Daytona as the field flies by. Looks like Bryce Hamrick, and alongside Hamrick, it will be one other driver opting to stay out. And now as pit road is on the move, Sean Conklin beats out Zabosian, Jackson Carr, and then Michael Cormenis. Then from there, looks like TJ Hanley's going to get on the way, not to be outdone by Henry Kaloff, and then River Page. Then just to follow the both of them, it looks to be the driver of the number 41, Noah Belleville, Will Shack, and James Thurston. And finally there, it's going to be the number 11 of Matt Metler as everyone comes out of pit road. Now it looks like River Page no longer the race leader, losing some time. It looks like it's going to head back to Sean Conklin. Conklin now leads the way just behind Bryce Hamrick. Connor Zabosian going to be 3rd, and 4th will be held by Jackson Carr. As we mentioned before we went to our most recent green flag run, we'd like to show you a bit more about what the Highline Racing League is about, as they will go live at 9:30 Eastern, or as soon as this broadcast has concluded. Gen 4 stock car racing and the best tracks made for hard, high horsepower racing, and it's always a fun time in the Highline Racing League. So if you want to check out what they're about, take a quick look at their official season preview and find out whether or not you're interested in staying for the doubleheader here on FTN. 9:30 Eastern, the Highline Racing League comes back into form, and they'll be racing at Atlanta. Take a look right now, and if you want to keep your eyes around for another race, this might be the place to stay on this beautiful Thursday night. And the green flag set to fly for our second restart after, of course, the first lap calamity. Restart number 3 officially, and it's going to be the rookie of Connor Zabosian down low with Bryce Hamrick leading. We're back on the way from Daytona. Nice getaway there from Hamrick. Rest of the field going to be a bit more spaced out on that jump, which is going to give Zabosian the chance to go right down low. Connor's going to take it down to the bottom side. He'll have the rest of the field chasing him. As they come down to that straightaway, it's already getting dicey here at Daytona. Bryce Hamrick up in front for the first time, and you'll see Connor Zabosian, the rookie, now out in front too. Now that number 10 going to be able to lead the field as Jackson Carr is now in second, Michael Cormetis is third, and Henry Kaloff is in fourth. Looking at the further backfield, you'll see James Thurston and now even Noah Belleville, and Belleville making moves for the first time tonight. The number 41 not in leading contention for the most part up to this point, but now Noah inserting himself into the conversation, and that's what you gotta do as a race continues to progress. Even though things are still far from over, you gotta start wondering, when can you get that time up in front? The experience with the leaders is as valuable as it can possibly be, especially at Daytona. If you don't know how to run with the best, there's no chance you can do it when the pressure's the highest and when it matters the most. Being consistent, hitting your marks, and being able to understand the drivers at a different level is all the tools that you need, and then some, especially if you want to make something happen later in the going. And right now, 38 laps in of 100. Looks like these drivers holding on quite well. Connor Zabosian going to lead the way with Jackson Carr then second. James Thurston going to be in fourth, and Noah Belleville going to be then in, well, he's still fourth, but Matt Mettler's now in fifth. They're going up and down throughout the order right now, so to tell you this much, these drivers absolutely giving it all they got as they're getting through. Single file now down to Matt Mettler, but then double file from there. Corey Lyles now going to be in the picture, and Lyles we've not seen much of all day long up to this point. Now finds himself inside of the top 10 picture, currently scored officially in 8th, and he's got himself some company with Henry Kaloff up top. Michael Cormetis there too, and getting the push from Daniel Mosteller as Mosteller tries to keep it there in the mid-pack, waiting, biding his time, and if he wants a chance to win, he's got to keep himself in it until the very end. Drivers in the back of the field like Balderas and Chase Schaefer have remained there. It looks like no luck for the smaller pack, not getting a nice jump, and it looks like Balderas does indeed have some damage, only running a few miles an hour off the pace, but with TJ Hanley right now and Michael Deitch, no chance to be anywhere near as quick as necessary. And Chase Schaefer, same situation too, only running at a total of 180 miles an hour, so he's not running anywhere near the speed that needs to be ran. The leaders down the back straightaway go 196. Chase Schaefer is going 178 when he enters it, and only getting up to about 182 overall, so clearly not as quick as necessary, but James Thurston, he's absolutely where he needs to be. Leading the way, it is James Thurston out in front. Then from there, going to be Jackson Carr second, Noah Belleville in third, and Michael Cormetis fourth. Top 4 going to be remaining within about a quarter of a second of each other, and the rest of the field on back is as close as they can be as well. The distance between these drivers is so close, it's almost like you can wrap them all up into a blanket, especially that mid-pack. For Thurston, he's getting some chances to break away a bit more, but not all too much. You have to give and take in these tracks, always, no matter what. Even if you want to break away, even if you really can, and you're going to come back and see it bite you, and it's going to be a big bite. Ryan Newman 2020, that's a very extreme example, of course, but he was out there final lap, a huge run from Ryan Blaney and Denny Hamlin, and that's what caused one of the biggest incidents in NASCAR's most recent decade of action. You cannot afford to sit on the lead when it's a big. These drafting cars, they will get back to it and they'll be fast. It's not as extreme as the Gen 6 cars in some examples. Of course, Talladega, where Ryan Newman saw himself beat by Ryan Blaney by 7/1000ths of a second. That's another incredibly close example. And it looks like right now, now very close to a wreck. Daniel Mosteller is going to be in trouble. Does he hold on to it? Yes, he does. Nice move from Mosteller to keep it going, but that could have been much, much worse. You saw him wiggling down the back straightaway. He will choose to keep it going, and he does a great job at saving it overall as Thurston almost gets inside of the wall himself, and the leader's up high, risking it a bit more as they'll come across the line yet again. Michael Cormetis still leads the way. He's got James Thurston there too, and Sean Conklin as well. Conklin going to be the final man of the top 5 now as Jackson Carr runs through, and it's been an up and down process for everyone within this top 10, and with 43 laps in the books, nearly halfway through our first race, drivers getting accustomed to the IORA style all over again. And so far, they've been able to do a very good job with it, and I think that's the way it's going to continue to be. Oh no, James Thurston up into the wall, and all of a sudden, looks like not a good job for these drivers. River Page is destroyed, and other drivers get caught up too, and it looks like we're going to have ourselves another wreck, the biggest so far tonight. Cautions out once again, and we are under yellow, 43 laps in of 100. Yellow will fly, and let's find out what happened here. Page involved, and it looks like we're going to lose our voices. Some drivers might have just lost their chances at going to the victory. Now, this doesn't look like it caught all too many, but those that got involved definitely going to feel it. Started with James Thurston, so let's take a quick look in slow-mo. And Conklin then catches Thurston, puts him up in a River Page. Bryce Hammer, Connor Zabos, and then save it. Daniel Mosteller goes down low. So all came down to these two drivers, and then Page is going to hit Braxton Whitaker and get that front end damage. It looks like Whitaker might be able to save it, and that he did, sending it down low, but then putting it into the grass. So River Page, Braxton Whitaker get the worst of it. Not good at all for James Thurston either, to say the least, but either way, looks like luckily most drivers able to get out of this one without major damage, and some drivers like, of course, Bryce Hamrick wiggling to get away, but it's much better than getting caught up overall. Bryce Hamrick going to avoid, Connor Zabosian does too, and 44 laps in, we are back under caution, nearly halfway point of this race, and pit road is once again busy. And drivers are choosing not to avoid pit lane. It looks like right now tires are more valuable. Fuel is more valuable than ever. If you can top off on fuel before the race is over, you'll be good to go all the way. So nice job for these drivers to make it to this point. Now the next step, of course, is to go for the rest of the way. A little bit of trouble, some scrambling back and forth, but nothing much comes of it. And it looks like the drivers will be safe coming out of pit road yet again. Michael Cormetis going to be the man who gets out first. He'll win the race off pit road. And right behind him, you'll see Noah Belleville. And then from there on out, Belleville going to be chased by the rest of the pack here. Corey Lyle still going to be on pit road. The number 11 of Matt Metler just got out. And he's going to be just behind his team boss of TJ Hanley and Aiden Walker. Walker now back in the picture. And 45 laps in, Aiden's been able to recover to put himself back in a spot to compete for the race victory. Despite all the trouble he's seen so far tonight, he's now there and might have a chance to go for the race victory in his own right as they come through yet again. 45 laps in of 100. Michael Cormetis scored as your race leader, and that is indeed the case. Pit road's been busy every single opportunity, and now with the caution flying for the 4th time today, it's going to be another chance to see drivers come down to pit road, shift up the strategy, and eventually make a case for their own victory at the end of 100. 45 laps through already. It's been nice to see these drivers get some good runs in, but slowly but surely seeing a bit more chaos, aggression beginning to ramp up. Drivers starting to think about what is next, and they're thinking more about the victory than the strategy that will take them there. 45 laps in of 100. Sir, we've made it this far, but there's still a long way to go until those final 10 laps, the final 5 laps, and even those final 3. You've got to set yourself up to make those big milestones in a race before you really think about getting it done overall. 45 laps in of 100, anything can still happen. And with these drivers, we might see a bit more chaos as the race continues to play out. Cormetis going to be up high. Looks like Noah Belleville going to be down low. If this is the choose rule lap, it looks like it will be. And Will Shack will be right down low with Cormetis, with now Noah Belleville having that track position up top. And Michael Cormenis now is your new race leader, 46 laps in of 100. It's been a very exciting first half of the race here in the IORA Cup Series. Once again, for those tuning in for the first time tonight, this is the Breadstick Designs 250 at Daytona Beach, USA. This is the Daytona International Speedway, and the IORA Cup Series welcomes you all to their first presentation of Season 4. After several months off from Homestead and Charlotte, the exhibition event, all the way to Daytona, we've waited from May to get this race on the way, and now here in September, it's here to stay. The Cup Series is back in, and it's going to be another fun series to watch. This is by far the longest race we are set to run this season. Longest race all year comes in at 300 miles with the Thank the Heroes 300. But overall, in seasonal competition on IORA, this does tie the all-time high marker going back to our Season 2 opener, which was 250 miles as well. Shortened last season to 80, and now back to its original 250 scheduled distance. We'd like to thank Breadstick Designs for hopping on board. Great having the support of the iRacing community, and Breadstick Designs, the one-stop shop for all your iRacing graphic needs. Be sure to check them out on Twitter by looking up Breadstick Graphics. It's in the name, and the handle will come up as soon as you search it. One more time, Breadstick Designs, the number 46 lap mark. We just hit it, coming at lap 47, this time by going to be Michael Cormenis, leading him through this time by as the number 25 is set to take the green flag. It's a restart number 5 this time through, and Cormenis will lead him to the green flag. We're back on our way from Daytona. Leaders stay double file through the first two corners. It's going to be Cormenis and Belleville still in the same spots. Noah's going to be able to use that back straightaway with some bit more momentum, and that's the high side versus low side debate that's oh so often seen in iRacing. You cannot afford to slip up on either lane. Both have their pros and their cons. So for the low line, less distance is traveled, and overall it comes back to get you a bit of a better run through the corners. If you want to make up some time, you'll do it quickly and overall cut you some distance on the track. However, as the field comes by the start-finish line, the high side is the place to be if you want momentum out of the corners. The high side does travel a bit more distance, and it is a bit more lengthy overall, but if you stick it out and keep it up high, you can get a lot more momentum. It looks like Mosteller and Guecci are going to be backing up their run, and as they charge it through, look at how quick Guecci is off the corner, and he started almost a car length away from Chase Schaefer. Now they're going to be neck and neck as they work it down to that straightaway. And that's exactly what you have to do if you are these drivers on the outside line, working on charging up your momentum, understanding who you can work with, and who has the best stuff here at Daytona. It's not about what you know, it is about who you know. And tonight, it's all about making friends, building relationships, and seeing who can carry you until the very end. And hopefully it's not going to be a bitter end, as these drivers all hoping to get themselves a good footing in the points race, get something done to start chipping away that championship. Mosteller right down low, able to clear on Guecci. Nice up and down maneuver, which brings him back as we are caution again. Yellow flags out, 49 laps in of 100, and it looks like this is going to be grouping the field back up at the halfway points. And nothing going to show us that we are under yellow, save for that incident might be in the back. And yes, James Thurston is destroyed, and the number 4 machine gets caught in the middle of the order. Yellow flag is out for James Thurston, and all of a sudden, he's going to be in a lot of trouble here. Taking a look at what happened, Thurston is involved, and he will be the cause of the yellow flag. Looks like second pack gets dicey, and it looks like out of the mainframe. Bryce Hamrick taps Thurston. They both shoot up to the wall, and the yellow flag flies. Two cars making some contact, and trouble will ensue. 50 laps in, halfway point is here, and James Thurston brings us to halfway with the caution. Yellow flag is out yet again, and we are going to be back under pacing here at Daytona. And at the halfway point, James Thurston has a lot of damage. Not quite sure if he's going to be able to continue racing with us tonight. It looks like your defending champion not getting off to a great start as we're back under yellow. Taking a look at Thurston once again, you can see sparks are flying. The suspension might be entirely destroyed on that right front. And if it is, that's absolutely the race for the number 4. We're trying to get a better angle of it right now, and you can see Thurston is still rolling. But right now, he's rolling with absolutely nobody around him. Taking a look, it doesn't look like there's any indication that right front is moving, and I do believe right now it is stationary, but nothing can confirm that. We'll try to get a better angle once again as Thurston comes through corners 3 and 4. Won't show you much there, so we'll try to get another. Thurston, big damage, and one of the race favorites might have trouble continuing from this point onward. Let's slow it down as he makes it by the corner and diagnose the issue. See if there's a bit more than what we can see. Yes, that wheel's not moving. Right front is done, so it looks like the suspension is already coming apart, and that's big trouble for James Thurston. If he wants to do anything with that car, I don't think there's much else that can be done. Making it through this time as the drivers come down a pit road. Thurston is in, and so is the rest of the field. Daniel Mostello, River Page choose not to go in, but the rest of the pack does. Noah Belleville will lead him out with Vincent Guecci, then Michael Cormetis not too far behind, and then from Cormetis on back, the field is still flying out. You'll see Braxton Whitaker going to be there with the number 11, and once again, it looks like it's going to be the 11 indeed with his TH Designs teammates. One of the rookies tonight, Matt Metler, and he's going to be just in front of Braxton Whitaker, and just beyond these two drivers, it looks like from there, TJ Hanley not going to be directly connected. It's going to be Sean Conklin, Chase Schaefer, and Jackson Carr. 51 laps in of 100. We made it past halfway, and the caution flies for the 6th time tonight. Yellow flag is out. 51 laps in of 100. And it's going to be led now by Daniel Mosteller, not too far behind is River Page, and TJ Hanley is then going to be in 3rd. 51 laps in out of 100 laps, and the green flag is set to fly at lap number 53. Looking at those with trouble on pit road, James Thurston is back out on the way, so it looks like despite that damage, he is able to get it back going, and the reason is, it looks like going to be a change of mind for the admin team. One and only one faster pair going to be allowed tonight, so unlike the dead zero rule, which was going to be put in effect, it looks like now James Thurston gets that second chance, and he will use it to get back on the move and fight once more in the second half of this race. Daniel Mosteller leads the way, so come now to the 1-to-go signal. It's going to be TJ Hanley, the man who rounds out the podium, and Noah Belleville then in 4th. Rounding out the top 5 looks to be Vincent Guecci with Michael Cormetis then 6th, Aiden Walker 7th, and Henry Caloff 8th with Matt Metler 9th and Braxton Whitaker 10th. Metler's going to see, of course, a lot of drivers behind him jump low. Looks like he'll choose to do so with the number 41 of Belleville. Vincent Guecci's caught out, and I think he might have a penalty here. The driver of that number 09 choosing to go down low, but he got caught in the middle there, so I'm not quite sure what the call is going to be for the admin team as he chooses to stay right there with Aiden Walker. He's going to be dropping now, looks to the back of the field, didn't make it to the choose cone, or rather the choose start-finish line, and he will now be sent further back. Not good for Guecci, but for the rest of the field, some time, some positions just made up. Mosteller going to lead the way with now Noah Belleville down low. Belleville going to be just ahead of River Page, Aiden Walker, and Michael Cormetis to round out that top 5. And looking good so far. The field still going to be mostly intact. One driver going to be away from the field. Looks to be TJ Hanley. And TJ chooses to go down a pit road once again. Topping off a bit further, trying to get a bit of a strategic advantage, maybe trying to stretch it to the end of this race, but with how much time we still have left until the end, I'm not quite sure if that's the way to go, but Hanley's going to choose to do so either way, and it looks like it's going to be Hanley back on the move as Daniel Mosteller and Noah Belleville comprise the front row all over again. Mainly small incidents tonight. We only did see one major wreck that ended up with overall 2 drivers getting the worst damage and a few drivers getting away with some scrapes. scrapes. And now, with 52 laps on the board, we've made it past halfway. The drivers have gone this far. Now they've got to find out what's left and see if they can make it through with the biggest hurdle ahead of them. The second half, intensity, aggression will all ramp up, and with some of the most experienced drivers in the field already having track position, it's Daniel Mosteller, the two-time champion, heading back to the green flag here and now. Mosteller will lead him as the green flag flies for restart number 6. Mosteller going to end up on the high side, taking it down the back straightaway. Noah Belleville going to be there too, and now 3 wide with Sean Conklin. The high side's in use, and now they're going to be 3 wide, multiple rows deep for the first time tonight. Sean Conklin's going to break the ice and take them 3 wide, and just like that, it looks like it's going to be accepted. 3 wide movement going to be seen throughout the field now. Jackson Carr takes it up top with Balderas, some dusting of the wall. And they'll be 3 wide at the stripe. 53 laps in, it looks like the driver's trying to do it a bit different now. Double file going to be the general consensus, but some drivers getting antsy, and they want their track position back now. So a few drivers going to take matters in their own hands and find it themselves. Just like that, it's going to be Daniel Mosteller pushed by Sean Conklin. The hard-charging Conklin makes it through and makes up a lot of time while he's at it. All of the same behind Jackson Carr, Jay Schaefer, Corey Lyles, and Alexander Balderas. Balderas and Schaefer recovering from an incident earlier in which they got tangled with one another. Schaefer might have been the cause of that one, but Balderas right now has himself on the back bumper, looking not to be the cause of another. They're going to stay side by side. Schaefer will slot in right behind Balderas, and James Thurston will go right down low too. Looks like Thurston's got that bottom side just enough to maybe make something of it, but so far no moves have been made, and it's going to be Daniel Mosteller leading the way up top. All of a sudden, the high side being used to log laps in the way that we've seen in the real world. High side, no competition, just make it through lap after lap. So unlike the earlier aggression we saw, it looks like now everything is toned down. Drivers are opting to use that high groove and just go from there, and all of a sudden it's going to be a much more tame experience at Daytona. How's about we ride a lap on board with our defending Daytona winner in Corey Lyles to see what it's like at the head of the field so deep into this season opener. And riding with defending race winner Corey Lyles, he finds himself deep in the battle for the top 5. Now they'll be side by side again, but Daniel Mosteller has that big advantage with Jackson Carr right there too. Lyles going to be on the back bumper of this high side, trying to keep them up ahead. As you look off his quarter panel camera, you'll see now Balderas and Cormenis are going to be side by side, so nothing more that he can do. After a lap of staying single file, the calm atmosphere changes once again, and they'll be back pushing as hard as they can as the leaders make it by once more. Corey Lyles going to put himself in the books once again with a 46.767, almost a full second off his fastest lap tonight. And still inside the top 5, 5th at the end of that lap. Taking a look once again, it's Daniel Mosteller up top. Jackson Carr now the overall race leader. And just like that, Carr's got a chance to go for it up in front. The number 83 leads the way, and he's got Cormenis right there too. Down to the bottom slots Schaefer. Noah Belleville going to be right there, but side by side they'll take Chase Schaefer 3. And Chase Schaefer 3 wide going to be stuck in the middle. And he's going to have to either choose to slot up high, which might be the best move for him, or try to fight it. It looks like he won't fight it, and he'll end up back in line as he sees Noah Belleville now go down to the bottom side, trying to fight on the low as Daniel Mosteller leads the show. And all of a sudden, now leading the way, it is Daniel Mosteller out in front. He's got that track position, and track position is going to be so crucial as the laps continue to wind down. Bryce Hamrick now going to be coming as well, and the number 94 looking to chase down Daniel Mosteller 2, Hamrick, Lyles, and Mosteller, two of the most successful drivers up in front. Corey Lyles, defending winner at Daytona, and as for Daniel Mosteller, well, he's a two-time champion, has only taken one season off. That was our most recent season, and now he's got a chance to go for another title, looking for his third, and it's going to be Mosteller leading the way, Corey Lyles then in second, Bryce Hamrick third, and Will Shack is in fourth. Chase Schaefer, position number 5. Vincent Guetsch going to be 6th, then with River Page in 7th, and it's going to be 8th with Sean Conklin, Noel Belleville, and then it's going to be Alexander Balderas to round out the top 10, 59 laps in, as the field storms through all over again. And now getting into a very good rhythm up in front, Mosteller he's been up in front for the most part with various different drivers, but now he, Corey Lyles, and even Bryce Hamrick beginning to form that connection. And that's going to be especially important as the laps go down and further down. 60 laps in, coming this time by, and if you cannot get it together, it's going to be a lot more tricky to make things happen. And as it stands, it looks like things are happening indeed. And for Mosteller, he's absolutely the man in control. Green flag's been out with now Michael Cormetis down low, trying to choose that bottom side and trying to make it work, but nobody goes with, and it looks like Mikey will have to come right back up and choose to do it all over again, waiting for another chance with another set of drivers as Daniel Mosteller leads him down the back straightaway all over again. He's got himself the lead. Then Corey Lyles is going to be in second, Bryce Hamrick is third, and it is going to be Will Shack, position number 4. Sean Conklin's 5th, and Alexander Balderas is then in 6th, as River Page holds fort in 7th. It's Michael Cormetis 8th, then it looks to be Jackson Carr in 9th. Top 10 is fluctuating time after time, but for the most part, they're all keeping it together. 61 laps in out of 100, only 40 laps remain. And Mosteller and Lyles keep it up front. Then you'll see Balderas and Michael Cormetis side by side. Low line has been coming and going, but for the most part, the top side has reigned supreme. And that's the way they look to keep it. High side has been dominant. Balderas tries the bottom once again, but with, of course, the support of Sean Conklin, one driver, now 2 up in front directly is not enough. Not a lot of effort from the pushing of Jackson Carr and TJ Hanley, but Daniel Mosteller goes around and takes the field with them. Goes out of the bottom, big trouble, and the yellow flag is out with some risky driving. Mosteller makes a block and cannot complete it. Caution is out. Daniel Mosteller, Alexander Balderas, and we are back under yellow as a risky move to keep the lead goes south fast. And looking back on that one, you can see Daniel Mosteller going to be there on the high side. Corey Lyles right there too. And it looks like as they go through turns 3 and 4, Mosteller's clearly got that lead. But take a look at the momentum made by Balderas. Mosteller blocks, then gets tapped on the quarter panel once, twice, and all they go. Now Corey Lyles is involved. Cormetis, Balderas again. And it looks like for Alexander Balderas, the night might be done for him. And it looks like another incident Balderas caught up in. Caution's out. One retiree in Vincent Guetsch. The most of the field still gets out of it. And the yellow flag flies once again with some trouble as Sean Conklin gets the race lead, escaping the calamity. The number 54 for Ryko out in front. And all of a sudden, 62 laps in out of 100, the iRacing official pace car leads the way again, and getting into a rhythm, then some trouble, as Sean Conklin's able to re-inherit the race lead, avoiding all that happened right in front of him. Now he's got everyone behind him, and that's the place to be as most drivers once again stop by pit road. River Page takes him down, and we've got another race on pit road all over again. 62 laps in, out of a total of 100. The triple digits we're hoping to hit, and so far we've seen quite a lot of racing action all throughout. Most recent wreck brings us back for what looks to be our 7th restart of the day. Now let's find out what happens on pit road and see who's the big winner in and the big winner out. Chase Schaefer gets away quick, so the number 99's back on the move. Then from there, Brandon Dugan, Noah Belleville, Braxton Whitaker, and then just after both of them, Will Shack. River Page and Alexander Balderas come down to the same same time. They come out at the same time with then Jackson Carr, Aiden Walker, and it's going to be Matt Metal, and it looks to be from there once indeed, James Thurston. Kenny Reel comes out too, and then Michael Cormenis, and finally to wrap off this bunch, it is Henry Kaloff. 63 laps in, Sean Conklin leads and keeps himself out in front, 63 laps in out of 100. Green flag set to fly at lap number 65. It's going to be your 7th restart of the day, and things are getting antsy as the final stretch is just ahead of us. 63 laps in of 100. We've made it now much more than halfway, and the question is, how do these final 25 laps go? They will dictate, of course, the rest of this race. You can't afford to mess it all up from this point because we've lost so much time with drivers coming down to pit road and such. Now we might have enough to fuel to go all the way. We might have enough in terms of getting it through with some patience to go through as well, but the question is, what will the drivers do as it all comes down to their decisions? Maybe we'll get a run to about lap 80-85 here, but the way drivers are getting, it's getting more exciting, getting even more antsy, and these drivers are beginning to throw themselves for a bit of a loop. The Ryko number 54, trying to keep it calm, has the race lead for a reason, and he's now hoping to hold on to it. Daniel Mosteller gets caught up in that wreck big. Looks like it's going to be nobody else penalized big time for the wreck. And now as they come through, it's going to be the number 54 down low, Chase Schaefer up high, and the caution flag going to be waved for the final time in this restart. Next time around, the green flag will replace it at lap 65. And now as the double file field comes back into play, Corey Lyle is going to be 1 lap down, still on pit road. Daniel Mosteller, Connor Zabozin, Michael Deitch, and Kenny Reel all looking to play catch up with the field right now. They're all going to be making their way through at once and making it back with the leading pack. It looks like Noah Belleville going to be the final man with these leading drivers. Sean Rowe opts to go up high, which gives Belleville a spot on the bottom. And now 65 laps in, when we come back to the green flag, it all comes down to what is next. Maybe there's still some more for these drivers, but it all comes down to how they choose to go at it. It's all about the individual drivers working with each other and making it happen as a collective. So far, we've seen some good runs. We've also seen some ill-placed timing for a lot of these guys, and you want to avoid that as the night goes on. Making relationships, building trust, doing a lot of aggressive movement all throughout the pack, especially with so much time remaining in the grand scheme of things, is not the right way to really make friends out here. But some drivers not looking for friends, they're looking for a win. Sean Conklin, one of which avoiding the incidents, getting away, keeping his strategy in check, and now as he's 13 laps into his current pit stint, he finds himself leading once more as they'll come down to lap number 65 to get the racing back in order. iRacing official pace car will drop in, this time led by Conklin. Chase Schaefer up top, getting back to the green flag, and we'll be back on the way indeed. Pace car's in, gonna be led once more by Sean Conklin, and the green flag's back out. We're underway once more. 7th restart of the day. And Sean Conklin now going to fade back quite a few spots with Chase Schaefer taking that race lead. Schaefer finds himself advantageous with some pushing from River Page and Alexander Balderas to go with it. Now he's got the track position, and he's got all the power he needs up in front. Having that position is also essential to making a run till the very end. He's got good drivers to work around with too. We've seen him work before with Page and Balderas. No matter the situation, when these guys get together, they can make great things happen. Balderas drops down to the bottom side with a very aggressive block, and that's exactly what he'll need in that number 95 if he wants wants a chance to get that win. Now, he's made it this far, and it looks like he can start thinking more about the late race moments. We mentioned him earlier in the broadcast, wondering, does he have what it takes to make it through till the finish? I think right now, proving he might just have the stuff. The question is, can he avoid an incident? He's been involved with 3 so far tonight, I believe tied for the most of any driver so far, so getting into an incident seems like he's had a tendency of doing so tonight, and he has to avoid that if he wants to make it to the end. Chase Schaefer pushing him firmly down the back straightaway, and now going to try to go somewhere else, and Balderas goes down into pit road, and another incident with Balderas. He'll save it and go down at full pace. They'll give him an exception. He'll climb back to the bottom of the field and able to keep it going. Alexander Balderas avoids disaster, does not overcorrect. And as a result, Chase Schaefer fades back to another incident between these two drivers, Schaefer and Balderas, racing each other hard, and it looks like they've been not able to make that magic happen tonight. Taking one more look back, instant replay on the matter here. Now, taking it back through, 95 machine is going to be up there on the high side. You'll see the Monster Designs 99 of Chase Schaefer. And it looks like from there, he's just going to get tagged, and it's going to be Balderas racing down through pit road as if it's the track itself. And that's what you have to do to keep it up with the field here. There is an exception to the rule book. Doing it in a situation just like that, that was the right call for Balderas, and he did exactly what needed to be done. But still, placing aggressive blocks, it's going to come back to bite you, and it did just again. Now, Michael Cormetis leads the way and finds himself up in front, leading over Sean Conklin, River Page, and Jackson Carr. Jackson Carr now going to be the alone on the bottom as Sean Conklin tries to wiggle down low. He'll make the move, and it looks like Cormetis thinks better of blocking. He'll stay up high and let the other drivers go back to business. As now, only 2 drivers are seriously out of contention. Vincent Guecci's 9 laps down. Corey Lyles is 5 laps down. So some trouble on pit road for one driver, and it looks like a retirement for another. Rest of the field is still going, and 69 laps in. So far, a very nice performance for Sean Conklin, with River Page right behind. Michael Cormetis there too. And as they make it down lap after lap, it looks like the drivers up in front are settling into a groove yet again. It was Daniel Mosteller and Alexander Balderas who got involved with that most recent wreck, but now it looks like both of them fading further, at least into the mid-pack, which gives guys like Michael Cormetis the chance to go at it and shine up in front. The Coca-Cola number 25 keeps himself there, and he's looking to lead him now into the sweet 70s, making it even further into tonight's event. Michael Cormetis, let's take a look off the rear view here as he's head and shoulders out in front. As we take that look here with Michael Cormetis, it's going to be James Thurston dropping down low, and all of a sudden going to be side by side as they take it through. Jackson Carr going to go down low. Does he save it? It looks like he will, and they'll keep it going. Great save from Jackson Carr, and the field will keep racing as he keeps it going despite all the trouble. Nice move from Jackson, and we will stay green. As a result, that's the difference between a wreck and an incredible save. Jackson Carr, the handwork keeps us going. And that's going to be Jackson Carr we're looking back on. Let's take a look further back indeed. Instant replay to show you the onboard camera here as Jackson Carr finds himself in a bit of trouble, but works out of it magnificently and keeps us under green 71 laps in. And keeping his head in the game all throughout, Jackson Carr, nice and smooth, getting it back through the gears, and that's a very rough ride for any driver. He makes it look easy. Very good job from Jackson Carr there, and now he'll be able to lead the way. Of course, there are a few drivers in the back of the pack, but no longer up in front overall. It's going to be Sean Conklin now leading over River Page, Bryce Hamrick, and James Thurston. Rounding out the top 5 is Michael Cormetis, and all of a sudden, the pack becomes even smaller once again. only a total now of 9 drivers connected to the leaders, going back to Corey Lyles. And now with this small pack up ahead, they have the opportunity to build an advantage and make it even greater, as you'll see Braxton Whitaker, Brandon Dugan, Aiden Walker, all there. And it looks like the TH Designs crew now going to be together for the first time, as you can see the number 51, the 55 there as well, and the team leader of TJ Hanley. They're all together trying to make something happen to get back with the leading drivers. Now it's going to be James Thurston leading single file. And all of a sudden, it might be time for these drivers up in front to think about just going till the end. 73 laps in, if they build that advantage, make it to the 90s at least, they'll be surefire in for a chance to get the win without much competition. They've got the advantage, they've got the position, and might just have a chance. 73 laps in as it stands, and you'll see Michael Cormetis now going to be up top, James Thurston down low, and as they come side by side yet again, it looks like Mikey gets the advantage on the high side with Henry Kaloff now pushing him. Kaloff, like Michael Cormetis was last season, chasing his own first victory. Matt Mettler going to retire from this race, not going to work out for him, but for the 63 of Kaloff, he is still looking for the victory lane for the very first time in the IORA Cup Series. Unlike Cormetis, he has one win so far. Of course, it's Kaloff's chance to make it through and break through for the first time. It's been impressive stuff from Henry Kaloff so far this year, continuing to build himself into a podium-level driver. We saw him last night in the FORL Cup Series getting a podium at Pocono, another very fast track. So no doubt he knows how to drive these tracks that are very, very quick, and I would not keep him out of my mind right now. If underdog picks are in play, he's one of the best of them, and I think right now he's got still ways to go to make it a surefire shot, but if he stays with this leading pack, he might be one of the best guys to look for as we come through lap number 75. And the top 5 as it stands, it's going to be James Thurston, Sean Conklin, Bryce Hamrick, Connor Zabosian, and Michael Cormetis. That is your top 5 so far. It's 3 Chevys and 2 Fords as we look to the final quarter of this race. Looking back at the action overall, here's your official race summary. 26 laps to go, 6 cautions, and 12 caution laps. Overall, 32 lead changes on the day. Very impressive stuff with still a quarter of this race to go. That's information accurate up to last lap, 74 of 100. So really good stuff from all of these drivers as they've made it happen lap after lap. Now the leaders are getting more single file, knowing that this is a chance to get around and make it through till the end. How about a bit of a weather update here? We've got 76 Fahrenheit. It is past midnight in the sim, so it is going to be very cool on the track, very little humidity, and now the wind only north with 2 miles an hour worth, so very minor wind, very fair conditions, and partly cloudy skies. Even though it's the nighttime, you really can't tell. So these drivers are working in very favorable conditions and now have themselves in the best situation to make it through till the end. Racing wise, up in front, they'll be single file, knowing you cannot make moves right now. Single file is the way to go. Corey Lyles goes up high, and now the pressure is off. James Thurston can kick it back, not necessarily relax, but of course now he's in a much better spot than before, leading the way as they come to lap number 77, and Sean Conklin stays there too. Next lap it's going to be 78 on the 79, and it looks like as they come through this time by, James Thurston's got that lead, then Conklin, and it is going to be single file as they make it lap after lap. And taking a look at a bit of a wide-angle shot here, it's going to be close up through the back straightaway, but then taking a look at the corner. All drivers going to be coming into frame. You'll see, of course, Bryce Hamrick. Let's take it a bit wider here, and you can see there's the second pack of Aiden Walker and the TH Designs crew, but then back here, you'll see Kaloff, Cormetis, Mosteller, Connor Zabosian, and even Kenny Reel with River Page, Bryce Hamrick, and James Thurston. Taking this overhead shot shows you how different it is as a driver and it's definitely one thing to look out for. You cannot get caught up in the motions of being single file too long. You got to keep your head on a swivel here. If drivers begin to move, you've got to go. Right now, nobody is chosen to, and it looks like it's going to stay that way for the time being, but with 23 laps to go, Bryce Hamrick's going to spin. Single file incident. Do they call it? It looks like for now they will not. Hamrick's going to be all the way alone, and it looks like for Hamrick they will call a caution. One car goes around Bryce Hamrick, and the yellow flag flies with 78 laps. We're back under yellow, and it's going to be a big save for Bryce Hamrick, keeping it going. And let's take a look back at his situation here as he gets back on the move. And taking a look back on the case here of Bryce Hamrick, the number 94 for CCH Motorsports, able to keep it going. Despite that incident, it looks like getting tagged there from River Page, the two drivers making contact. Hamrick goes sliding, and it looks like does make some rear end contact and some front end contact too. So a big hit there for Hamrick overall. Doesn't look like he avoids making contact. That's going to be big trouble. And now it's 79 laps on the board. He'll have to come down to pit road a bit before the rest of them. James Thurston leads the way, the number 4 machine there, with Sean Conklin second, Connor Zabosian now in third, and Daniel Mosteller then in fourth. Chase Schaefer going to be rushing through the grass to get back with them, and now the field set to go back down to pit road, potentially for the final time. And as the drivers come through, this time by 79 laps in of 100, it's going to be James Thurston working his way right down low, and the number 4 machine choosing to this time by make it down low. The field is going. Will Thurston? Yes, he will. No fake outs. The field will come in once again. This could be the money stop with less than 20 laps remaining. Green flag time at least, and now pit road is going to get busy. Bryce Hamrick retires. He's going to be joining Matt Mettler and Vincent Guecci here. Rest of your field is still going with 80 laps already put in the books. Taking a look right now as Corey Lyles comes rocketing by. He'll give you a great perspective of the pit exit camera as he makes it through. Leading off of pit road is going to be James Thurston, and then Henry Kaloff not too far behind. It's going to be Connor Zabosian, Michael Cormetis, River Page, and then from there Sean Conklin with Alexander Balderas all coming through in one frame. Kenny Reel is going to be the man right after them, and from there it looks to be another taker, the final taker of this bunch coming out. Next through, it looks to be no takers just yet. Aiden Walker keeping us waiting. All these drivers still going to be stagnant as they're going to get some extra damage repair as opposed to making it out. Braxton Whitaker's the next man through, and now the 51 going to complete the top 15. Will Shack is scored as your race leader. Shack up in front, and it's the number 35 leading the way with TJ Hanley then second and Chase Schaefer in third. How about this for Will Shack leading with 20 laps to go? When we come back to green, it's going to be 19, and an underdog driver, as always, Will Shack, now putting himself in the best position to make it through for a race win. Shack has never done so in his IORA career to this point, but now all of a sudden it looks like he's got a chance to make it through for his first chance in victory lane. It's not just a chance, it might just be a reality, and as it stands for Will Shack, it might be the best shot he's got all season long. Ran very well at Talladega last season, but was not able to get it done. Of course, some troubles in that last lap shenanigan, and it was overall Cooper Glick very close to. Zach Todriff able to break it out at the end, and that chaos at Talladega setting some very close calls apart. Shack, Cooper Glick, oh so close, just wasn't able to make it happen. As they come down the line, this time through, make it a total of 20 laps remaining, and a bit of trouble as they make it by the line. Now going to be double file heading into 19. Leaders are going to be back on the way. Field comes up there too, and it looks like now might have been a wreck we did not hear about. Looks like besides, of course, Bryce Hamrick, we might have seen some trouble later on in the caution. So it looks like maybe a wreck under yellow yellow here, and it looks like all drivers able to sort it back up. TJ Hanley there, and you can see Michael Deitches too, so drivers getting back in the motions. Hanley's going to be down on pit road. Brandon Dugan's back on the way. Looks like an incident maybe under yellow here that we did not catch. We saw Bryce Hamrick, of course, go around, and now the green flag being out means there's a chance to do it all over again. It's going to be 19 laps to go this time by when we get back to the green flag. And as always, as we usually do on FTN, we crank it up with a total of 22 laps to go. But it looks like right now, that's not going to be the case. We weren't green with 22 laps to go, so we simply cannot do that. Now, with 19 to go, we're going to make it up to all you fans watching live on FTN and do it all over again, cranking it up, courtesy of our friends at TrackCams22 and TrackCams for Gourmets. For the highest quality iRacing cameras, affordable, and the best material, go to TrackCams for Gourmets for over 100 car and track combinations for all broadcasters and photographers alike. Whatever you need them for, it's the best place to go. Visit TrackCams22.com after tonight's broadcast and join a membership with TrackCams as they provide the best cameras on the iRacing service. Coming through this time by for a total of 19 laps to go, it is going to be Will Shack down low, Chase Schaefer up high, and it's going to be SuperSpeedway Racing till the end. Shaq, Schaefer, as we get to crank it up, let's get it loud here with 19 laps to go. Green flag is out. And only a total of 15 laps remaining here in Daytona. Chase Schaefer did indeed go around there off the bumper of Alexander Balderas once again. Trouble between these two drivers has been frequent. They'll have to look it over after tonight's race. Looks like the 95 taps the 99 once again, and Schaefer now fades back big. Another chance to lead going to be dissipating as the number 4 of James Thurston now goes down to the bottom side with assistance from Kenny Reel. Reel going to go down to the bottom groove here. He's going to have Alexander Balderas up top to deal with, and Michael Cormetis is spun off the bumper, and a huge lick. Cormetis goes around, and Alexander Balderas spins another driver. James Thurston kept it going, but Balderas gets another. The number 25, in the same vein as Chase Schaefer, gets caught out, and the caution will fly. My oh my, Michael Cormetis going to be another victim here, and it looks like Balderas having a bit of a problem repeating the same action, hooking drivers. We saw him do it with Chase Schaefer earlier, and he gets another one. Cormetis, Mikey leading out in front, and it looks like Balderas going to go down to the bottom there, trying to push him. It looks like Cormetis kept his line, and it's going to be Balderas going bottom, hooking him down, and gets James Thurston. Now, I can't believe Thurston kept going after that. It looks like the 4 just keeps his position. He stayed up there, didn't even lose all too much, and despite the major hit square on the front end, he's still up there. Taking a look on board, it will show you the more of the same. He does get hit. That's the no-doubter, but he stays up in front despite the contact. Alexander Balderas is going to be involved in trouble 2 times in this run and gets Cormetis to end this green flag run, put us back under yellow. Now, by this point, they were already going to be under yellow, so let's take it a bit further back and find out what in specific the circumstances were for James Thurston as we ride on board with the number 4. And there's no doubt they made contact, but the damage immediately disappeared for Thurston as if it never happened. So Thurston's going to get very lucky there. Contact, yes. Damage, there was, but it gets removed immediately, which we don't ever see unless a driver gets that 1 in a million chance to keep on going. So Thurston gets that chance, and it looks like he will stay out on track, as does the majority of the field. Alexander Balderas, 88 laps in, leads the way, and despite some troubles with some other drivers, he's still up there for a reason. As it stands, taking a look at his overall statistics for the night, the driver of the number 95 has led 10 laps and is so far able to gain 3 spots on where he started and the first position as low as 23rd. So another big move for Balderas, and right now going at a speed of about 69 miles an hour. Nice for him to keep it up in front, but certainly a lot of drivers seeing that he's been a bit riskier than most others on the field. Hitting the 5th gear at about 3,000 revs a minute, Balderas holding his own right now with 13 laps to go and hopes to keep it going as he finds himself now in the prime position to take it through with a baker's dozen remaining. This has been big for Balderas, and so far he's still up there with a chance. 13 laps remaining and many drivers right there too, looking to get it done. And take a look at James Thurston right now, pulling up his overall information. Now, you'll see that he does not have a name in the boxer, and that's because he started on pit road. But IORA's defending champion, James Thurston, finds himself now in the 3rd spot and 3rd on the podium, looking very good to keep it going, looking to win and get it out of the way early and maybe become the 2nd back-to-back champion in IORA history. Now, the only other driver to do so is the 2-time champion of Daniel Mosteller, and he is now finding himself in position number 7. He's right there for the taking. Inside of the top 10, just outside of the top 5, 2-time champion Daniel Mosteller is currently in 7th, and right now puts himself in a good spot to go all the way as well. They'll be coming now double file this time through, and the 2-time champ is going to line up, it looks like, on the high side. Alexander Balderas opts to go low, and with 12 laps remaining, he's going to keep it there. A dozen to do it here on FTN. It's going to more be like 11 laps to go when the green flag flies, and from there on out, it's going to get very, very hectic. It's going to be Balderas up in front, and then Henry Kaloff up high. Second to him is, of course, the 63. Then from there, you're going to see James Thurston not too far behind, Sean Conklin and River Page Jackson Carr also right there as well. Everyone being so close to one another. It's going to be very dicey when they get going, and certainly going to be something to keep an eye out for. Balderas leading the way 88 laps in, just has to make it the final stretch, and then from there, get to checkered flag. The final stretch is just ahead of us. 89 laps in of 100. Buckle your seatbelts. Get your popcorn. This is the Breadstick Designs 250, and if you've come this far, stick around. And if you enjoyed it so far, leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It's only going to get more intense with the final few laps coming through. Balderas and Kaloff, both drivers without a win coming into the night, and Balderas will do anything it takes to win. He's proved it already, and now he's looking to prove it once more. With only a few laps remaining, a handful of which, he's got a chance to stick it up to victory lane and make it through for the first time in his career. Henry Kaloff would like the same honors as well, and as they come down to the start-finish line with 12 laps remaining, it's going to be Balderas and Henry Kaloff getting it done here from Daytona. That's the plan, as we will head to the green flag, this time by 11 laps to go, and the Breadstick Designs 250 comes to the final run here at Daytona. Green flag going to be out all over again, and it's going to be Balderas and Kaloff working their way through once more. 11 laps to go from Daytona as we get back to it. Green flag is out, and we're back underway for the World Center of Racing. Big time disconnection there for a moment's notice. We're back on the way. Looks like a blip on our end. We're still good. Luckily, everything keeps on going. We're going to check behind the scenes under the hood. And it looks like we should be good to keep on going, so we're going to keep it this way. Up in front, it is style Alexander Balderas. Luckily, we're not going to be fully disconnected from the session. That happened last night. It won't happen again. Just had to make an announcement of the drivers here as we keep things going. It looks like right now we're having a bit of trouble. Let's take a look under the hood yet again, as it looks like as it stands. Yes, we're going to have to take a brief advertisement break and bring you back with the rest of this one. We will be right back, as it looks like an internet disconnection breaks it up. We'll be right back in a moment's notice.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
And come back with 6 laps to go. This is the final run. We're back on the way in the Breadstick Designs 250, and all is well as we get back in the server with River Page leading. This is the final stretch. 5 laps to go this time by. Page has the advantage. Sean Conklin not too far behind, and there's trouble. Yellow flag is due to fly. We're heading to overtime. Braxton Whitaker involved, and it looks like we are back with a caution. River Page gets out of it, but it looks like indeed there's going to be some trouble. Connor Zabosin, James Thurston, and it looks like a yellow flag bails us out, and these drivers won't feel the same way. Some drivers losing their chance right there. Braxton Whitaker, one of which involved. Let's take a look right back and find out what happened. Man, oh man, we are getting close on time. It's going to be an overtime finish here on FTN, and it looks like Connor Zabosin and Braxton Whitaker. Some trouble there for Aiden Walker, and it looks like James Thurston takes to the grass to save himself and his race. Desperation calls for moments like that and moves like that as Daniel Mosteller also gets caught up too. Some juggernauts are involved, and as we come back this time around, the number 51 of Braxton Whitaker gets it going in 19th, and now we're back on our way. River Page, 97 laps in, is your race leader. Our next broadcast is at 9:35. We're cutting it close on time, but don't worry, this is the only race of the season. It will be like this. There will be no trouble for the rest of the year. 250 miles is quite a lot, so there's no worry for the remainder of the year. Tonight, though, we might only hear from your race winner the way things are going. We've got it very close on time. We'll be moving to our next broadcast as soon as we can, and stick around with us on FTN. The Highline Racing League is indeed next, but this is the spectacle of the night. The opening event, it's a gem in itself, and it's a very, very prestigious victory if you can grab it, and River Page would like to be the man who says yes and gets it done. He's put it to the test so far. Making it this far in the race is a big achievement in itself. Now to wrap it up, which is exactly what he must do. 20 drivers are still in the field with 4 laps to go. We're coming to 3 this time by, and it will be a 2-lap dash. It looks like some drivers going to head down to pit road that time by. It's a fake out, and it will not be. Now they're going to come through. River Page leads them. Nobody down to pit road save for James Thurston, and now time to really think about this. 3 laps to go. As it stands, it'll stay 3 until we get to, of course, the final pace lap. So the race is set to be extended by 1 more lap, the way things are looking at the very least. The race is set to be extended for a green-white checkered finish, meaning that as it stands, we are set to go to lap 101 as opposed to stopping at 100. This race will be extended, and it will go a bit further than we anticipated. So it's going to be a lot of excitement to look out for in that regard, as Page, Conklin, and, of course, Alexander Balderas are in the podium with Henry Kaloff then in 4th. Ottercat rooting for Henry. Jerkerski in the chat room as well. Great to have you all stopping by. If you've enjoyed the action and have stuck with us so far, not only would we like to have you here for the rest of this race, but for the Highline Racing League as well. A lot of great racers there. You might recognize a few of them too. And now as we come through with 3 laps to go, it's been a wild ride. As always, I've been your host for tonight's broadcast, David Kreutz, and if you've enjoyed the fun tonight, we'd love to have you leave a like and subscribe to the channel. That's always the best thing to do if you want to support FTN. Keeps us going, and your support is immeasurable. We love having you aboard for all these broadcasts. It means the world to us, and that's the reason that we are still kicking. Now, I'll tell you this much. If you're a fan of iRacing and want to get involved, there is a way. Larson Reddick fan in the chat room for Michael Cormetis. Great to have you here as well. We have a special offer, courtesy of iRacing Motorsport Simulations, and it's been going on for quite a while. A few nights ago, I believe that iRacing was selling every membership for $7.77. I don't think that's going on any longer, but it was going on as recent as last night. Might have been a glitch, but they are selling these things for as cheap as they've been in a long time. 40% off minimum for a summer sale that will conclude within the next 2 weeks, celebrating 15 years of iRacing. And if you want to get all your iRacing information, no better place than the eNASCAR newsletter powered by iRacing and eNASCAR themselves. If you want to find out more about the top level of stock car sim racing, the eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing series, all the information is there. The best place to find out about iRacing itself and how you could join the fun, the QR code on your screen. Sign up for the free NASCAR newsletter and get yourself involved with the iRacing community. iRacing powering FTN since 2022. And now it's time to see who can power down and get it done. Sean Rowe, Jackson Carr, both having some fans. Michael Cormetis, Henry Kaloff, and the rest of the field. Fan favorites or not, they're here for one thing. You've made it this far. 99 laps, 101 will be the distance, and anxiety is building up, the tension is here, and it is palpable. 4th season of IORA, we have been off for several months, and now we're here. Looking at this field, they're still all together, and they all still have a chance. The question now, who will get it done? Kaloff is there, Sean Rowe is too. The white flag will fly for lap 101 if we make it. Here's the situation. Caution flag before the white flag. We will have another attempt, up to 2 more attempts of an overtime finish. If not, we get to the white flag, the race is official, checkers or wreckers. So the white flag determines everything here. The white flag means all of the strategy could go out the window. It could still be valid. It is the be-all, end-all. If you want to get it done, white flag, and then you go for the money. We're going to see some crazy racing. These drivers are going to be absolutely on it. This is the moment of truth. Of course, Kaloff, Cormetis, Rowe, and Jackson Carr. If you've got any other favorites in the chat room, be sure to let us know. Subscribe to FTN, and you can chat unlimited to support your favorite drivers. I'm sure they're still here. They're still kicking. The best in the business have stayed to this point, and they're here for an overtime showdown. Kaloff and River Page are your front row from Daytona. One final time. 2 laps remain. We're back on our way. Overtime finish from Daytona. And you can sense the tension down the back straightaway. Henry Kaloff's got the edge. They're going to be scrambling once again. Chase Schaefer, one driver going to be involved. Do they call the yellow for it? It looks like at the stands they will not. Turn 3 going to be active with some drivers still making it through. Corey Lyle's going to be involved as well. 2 laps to go. Drivers anticipate the white flag. Schaefer might be out of it. It looks like Will Shack and Carnes Bozen are too, but there will be no stopping. Henry Kaloff leads the white flag. 1 lap to go from Daytona, and Sean Rowe goes high. Michael Cormetis is there too, and now it's the white flag lap with all the contenders making their way. No caution. This will be it. Sean Rowe's going to take it up to the top side. He's got Michael Cormetis right there as well, and now it's time to find out who's got it till the end. Cormetis, Rowe, pushing each other. Sean Rowe looking to get back in victory lane on Thursday nights. Michael Cormetis now going to be lost. It's Conklin and Aiden Walker. Sean Conklin goes down to the bottom. Now shoving with all his might. He's got Sean Rowe right in front, and he's going to have to make a move here now. The front stretch is do or die. He'll get the shove up top, and they'll be door banging. A drag race down to the stripe, and you'll give it to Sean Conklin. 4 wide for the win. Give it to Sean Conklin. Back in action, and it's a comeback victory with 24 thousandths of a second to spare. 4 drivers on the line are dead even, and Conklin gets it done. My oh my, Sean Conklin does it all and wins the Breadstick Designs 250. Can you believe it? And Conklin pulls through, wins tonight at Daytona before he burns down the house. Let's take a look at the results. Huge win for Sean Conklin over Daniel Mosteller, Sean Rowe in 3rd, and Aiden Walker in 4th. Look at those intervals. 52 thousandths of a second separate your top 4. Then Corey Lyles in 5th, River Page in 6th, Michael Cormetis in 7th with Jackson Carr 8th, and Henry Kaloff in 9th. Going to be Braxton Whitaker 10th, TJ Hanley 11th, and Brandon Dugan 12th. Then from there, going to be 13th with Kenny Reel, Michael Deitch 14th, James Thurston 15th, and Will Shack in 16th. Noah Belleville going to be 17th with Connor Zaboza in 18th, and Alexander Balderas in 19th with Chase Schaefer 20th. To finish the field, Bryce Hamrick, Matt Metler, and Vincent Guecci, your retirees. And now it's time for Sean Conklin to burn down the house. Sean Conklin continues to burn it down in one of IORA's closest finish in league history, 24 thousandths, 4 wide at the line, and it doesn't get much better than that. Conklin comes home clear as day for the win and continues to burn it down. Sean Conklin's got a right to celebrate, and he's got all the reason as he continues to put it into the grass. Celebrate this one as long as you wish, Sean. It's never going to leave your mind. Here in the IORA Season 4, it's going to be different, and he shows what we've got in store for the rest of it. And continuing to burn it all down, man oh man for Sean Conklin, burning until the motor goes. And you can see the front straightaway, it's all empty, save for our race winner. And it looks like he's just given that motor all it has, and he will bow out with a motor blown and a race won. After all the action tonight, Sean Conklin, only one driver can take home the checkered flag, and tonight it was you. 4 wide at the line, all the action came down to that, and you're the man who gets it done in victory lane. How do you feel after this win?
Pretty good. That was a fun race. Honestly, when I looked at 100 laps, I was like, oh boy, we're gonna be here for a long time. But it went by pretty fast. Like, I just took it like 10 laps at a time. Look where I was at the whole race, and it was pretty fun. I haven't raced in this league for who knows how long. Like, I did the Clash, but before that, I have no idea how long it's been before. Since I've been in this league, it's been a while. Like maybe 6 months, and it's fun to be back. I don't know if I'll be doing the whole season because I focus more on like officials now, but this was definitely pretty fun to come back and do this again. I've been in that same situation on the final lap about like 3 times during a open week at Daytona, so I knew exactly what to do: dive down low into 3 and wait till the straightaway to go up and make the move, and we should have it, and we did. So it was also a pretty cool finish. That's gonna be a cool photo. I'm sorry for the guys back at the shop. That is a destroyed race car, but we still were able to do bonus. Bleh, I cannot speak today. We're still able to do burnouts with it. So yeah, it was a pretty good night. I am glad to be back. Don't know if I'll be full-time, but if I am, then it is good to be back.
And great to be back indeed, kicking off the season with some great momentum, getting it done, and Auto Club is up next on the schedule. How do you feel getting this win aside and moving on to whatever's next?
Auto Club should be a decent track for me. I don't know. I haven't raced there much with the Next Gen. I only went there earlier this year. In officials, but I didn't race that week much, so we'll see. We should be okay, but yeah, we'll see.
Looking to keep it all going after a very successful opening race of the season, Sean Conklin. When it comes down to this race, a lot to say, so if you've got any more thoughts you'd like to bring out, anyone else you'd like to thank, let us know, because we'd love to hear it all as we conclude tonight's action with the Breadstick Designs 250.
I'd just like to give a shout out to Ryko Performance, some of the best setups you can buy on the service, and Conklin Creations for the paint scheme you see. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
And there we have it. Sean Conklin pulls through for a 4 wide finish at the line. What a way to do it. Success, and it came with its chaos. Conklin, a winner again. Thank you for your time.
Yep.
Sean Conklin going to be back on the move. How about this one? Conklin gets it done, and the number 54 will pull it together for his first win of Season 4, bringing us back to action night as we say hello to Season 4. What a way to open it up, and what a way to kick off this one. Auto Club going to be next Thursday, and we're as excited as ever about that one. I think it's going to be just as great as what we saw this week. So we got to thank every single one of you for watching our first broadcast of the day. We're moving moving on quite quickly here. The reason is the Highline Racing League begins in about 5 minutes. So we've got to move. Thank y'all for stopping by for this one. We are not dead yet on the night. IORA gives us nothing but great action, and yet again, they don't disappoint. Daytona, won by Sean Conklin, and the Breadstick Designs 250 is his. Gotta thank y'all for watching our first stream. If this is all you have tonight, we still thank you sincerely for your support. I've been David Kreutz, your host for tonight's broadcast, and we hope you enjoyed this one. From our studios to your homes, we hope you enjoyed tonight's presentation of the IORA Cup Series, and we hope to see you as a viewer whenever we're live again on FTN. We thank you dearly for your support, and we hope you have a great night.